Hey everybody, and welcome back to the part 2 of round 2 of Discers for Whiskers in 2021 here at Romero Disc Golf Course in Cheyenne, Wyoming. This is the 4th annual event thrown by the Cheyenne Animal Shelter to raise funds for the animals and all the things that they do for the community. They've raised quite a bit of money with this event, and I hope they keep doing it.
Yeah, it's always good to see the money go to a good cause like that, so I do as well.
Lead card today is going to have Maverick Robertson out of Fort Collins, Colorado.
Yep, he's sitting at 10 down right now.
Had a pretty good first half of this round.
And then we have Coda Turner out of Cheyenne, Wyoming, sitting at 9 down.
I had a couple rough holes last half. I'm going to see if I can bounce that back or not.
And then Hank has picked up a stroke, so he's tied with you there at 9 down.
Another one of those Fort Collins players coming up to show the love.
Yeah, you don't see a 4-digit PDGA number very often, especially in the Open division.
And slaying.
In slaying.
And Zach Meeker from here in Cheyenne as well is going to round this card off. He had a pretty good round, first round. He's still even, I believe, for this round so far. Yeah,
even for the round, still sitting at 7 under.
And we're going to come into the one of the easiest holes on the course, tied with hole 9 for the easiest hole with more than 50% birdies.
Yeah, this is definitely one you expect to get when you walk up to it.
Not when you do that, though.
Yeah, that's a little bit high. Got through more than I would have expected. Maybe too much. Hank's looking a little lower. He's definitely kind of eyeballing that lower shot.
And it kind of lifted as well.
Yeah. It's kind of an unusual wind direction. You can see from the little flags there, it's almost a straight headwind for him on this hole. That's not what we're used to dealing with on any of these holes, really.
Maverick
and
also
lifted
kind of
as
cut
well.
left as well. Still all right, though.
Yeah, he stopped before he got into the trouble over there. That left side, it's got some areas that aren't too bad, but for the most part, it's thick. Zach putting that on a little bit of anhyzer and sliding it right up to the base.
I did end up having a little window to work with and just didn't give it enough.
Yep, just a little bit low. Maverick's pretty open, it looks like. This one should be a pretty easy run for him. That downhill got to him though and just left it a little short.
Hank looking to close the gap with Maverick. And he does.
And he does.
Great shot.
That was a really nice putt from over there. You could see he had to lean out around that branch.
And Zach's going to come up and just tap this birdie out.
Always nice when you can just use the same disc you threw. Maverick and you will both clean up your pars. And as you can tell, Maverick is not too happy about getting a par on that hole.
No one's happy about getting a par on that hole.
No.
And those two don't have to be. They had good shots,
yeah.
Good birdies.
And that'll tie Hank and Maverick up.
And on a hole 14, with this tailwind, it's actually a pretty simple shot. I throw the straight putter at it. A lot of guys might take the sidearm, but I think most of this card's going to just try to go straight at it.
Yeah, looks like Hank left it out a little left, though. That can be tricky over there. There's some low-hanging branches. Hard to get an area you can run it from there.
And Zach's going straight at it with a sidearm, which is kind of a scary play because it brings those bushes in the right into play a lot.
Yeah, and you really don't want to get through to the right side of those bushes.
And
but as long as you get through that tree, that's not a horrible place to be, really.
I think I did.
Maverick trying to line up that backhand hyzer.
Flips
That's
up for
a good
him.
looking line. Oh, and just caught the top of the bush.
He should be looking... Oh, no, he got caught on the backside of that tree.
Yeah. You can kind of see those low branches I was talking about. It's hard to get the disc up high enough. Whereas you're on the clean side, and a good kick out, that'll get you an easy par. Good run at a 2.
Hank as well has this nice open shot.
Oh, glad that one sat as well, because
that was a good bid.
yeah.
And Meeker actually didn't punch in very far into those bushes. He was very fortunate there.
Yeah, gave him a chance to lean around. Looks like Maverick did get through, though. Oh, and he almost made it through there. Just a vertical whip it through there. It's an unfortunate bogey, but it's what happens when you get on the wrong side of those. Especially on your second throw.
That birdie with Zach and Maverick's bogey, it's the 3 of us tied at 9 down, and Hank pulls ahead.
Always nice to see. We're going into hole 15. It's kind of a difficult hole. The Mando is there to protect the people playing hole 14, which I think is well suited. So
agreed. I think it's a good call.
But it definitely kind of makes this a trickier shot. Zach's whipping out the sidearm. Just didn't get it turned over, but at least he's got a look.
Yeah, he's got that window there.
Hank looking at the straight shot, it looks like. Yeah, that'll work great. Perfect. Oh! Darn. Looks like you as well taking that straight shot at it. Is that origin
that
again?
That one was actually the method.
Oh, okay. And it looks like it put you pin high, just a little off to the left side there. Maverick looking at doing the same thing. Oh, just a little low. That needs to get up. It scooted for quite a while.
The hole is almost shaped for a sidearm, but the backhand play is what you're going to see more often. Just because it dumps you into the open instead of behind those trees.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like
Zach
Meeker
didn't
here,
quite get around him, but
yeah.
He's at least got the window, just got that one branch to contend
He
with.
put a good flex on it, good run.
Maverick lining this one up. Oh. Only one with an inside the circle birdie putt.
Glad I could capitalize on that one.
Yeah, it's always nice to get this hole in general, but it's always nice to get that birdie, help kind of shake off some of those bad shots and help you get going again. Which, parring 13 isn't necessarily a bad shot, but it can feel that way.
It feels like it. It feels like a bogey.
Always nice to get that birdie to kind of get you back on track.
And with Hank taking his par and Meeker making his putt, that's all of them tapping in their safe pars and moving on to the next hole. This hole did actually average slightly over par.
I could see that because it was
with the Mando and those low branches toward the end of the flight. It does kind of make it more of a difficult shot.
It does. That one really does. So here's hole 16. It's a pretty long hole, but should be playing kind of tailwind at this point.
And with a downhill slope, it does play shorter than what the 410 that it says that it is.
Yeah, so I definitely expect some of you guys to be getting there for putts. So. Yeah, that one's definitely there.
That's a bit cooked.
Yeah.
Oh, but the dig was nice.
Definitely. And I would say that's the miss to make. You would rather be long on this hole than short.
Meeker pulls it a
that
little
needs
far,
to get
but
back
no,
over.
It's fighting. It's fighting.
He ended up on the wrong side of the trees. We'll have to see where that one ended up, but He's down there, it looked like.
That wind is kind of pushing him down there. It's almost a cross.
Yeah, it looks like it. He's playing that out pretty wide.
Just
and pretty
smashed.
long. He was almost to the next tee box. See if Maverick can make the correction. Oh, that seems like it has a lot of hyzer on it.
But it looks like he might have actually gotten out into the open over there.
Yeah, he might have got... Oh, he's looking around in those trees back there. Needs to get out of Hank's way.
That was a good up.
Yeah, that'll be an easy 3 from there. Which on this hole, there's no harm in a 3.
A little pitch out from Maverick. And Zach actually put himself in a great spot.
He put himself in a really good spot. Oh, and he capitalizes on it. Nicely done. With it up on that mound a little bit like that, it can get intimidating running those longer putts. Yeah.
And I think it was a little bit nose down in that wind.
Yeah, and nose down in a headwind will do that every time. But, like I said, no real harm in a 3 on this hole. It's always nice when you can get the 2.
Most of the field did.
It's kind of a bonus 2.
There was only a 1-2 on the round, I believe, on this hole.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. It's not one that you get all the time. It doesn't usually give up much worse than bogey, but it usually gives up more of those than birdies.
A lot like this next hole, which is either birdie or bogey.
Yeah.
There's very few pars seen on the hole. You have the drop zone save or the missed putt if you made the island. But this is a tough island to hit. It's just a really awkward shape, so it's hard to tell if you're even on the island from the tee pad.
Yeah. And then we're playing to the back section of it, which is kind of the narrowest section, so
Meeker
yeah,
hit
that's
that
easy
hill,
to do.
The little mound eats so many drives.
And it seems like it should be such an easy shot. Just got to throw a low hyzer, spike hyzer, anything you want, but just 230 feet. Doesn't seem like it'd be that difficult, but it can be.
I just barely snuck over the wall myself with a justice there.
Looks like it slid right up to the basket, though, so that's always nice.
Hank got on the backside of the bush, but he's still safe on the mound.
And that's where most of the threes come from, is being blocked by that bush. Little wide by Maverick. Skip on. Oh, not quite. So Maverick and Zach will both be going to the drop zone. Hank's got this long putt from a knee.
And cashes
wow.
it.
That was impressive.
That was a great shot.
Yeah, and you don't see many shots from this drop zone go in. The other pin position is a lot more savable, but this one's a pretty tricky one.
That looks good. That looks good.
Oh, just a little too high on that one. We'll clean up his bogey. Like you said, either a birdie or a bogey. Hank's making sure that's right.
That was amazing.
That was. You don't see that very often. And what a drive. That was just amazing. Just slid right up to the basket. Well done.
Trying to stick with Hank here.
Yep. So Coda and Hank both tied at 11 down right now. Zach kind of fell off on that one, but these next couple holes as well are kind of risky holes. You got to take the chance to get the bogey, but it's real easy for him, or to get the birdie, I mean, but it's easy for him to turn into a bogey. Or worse, really.
Yeah.
That's looking nice. Needs to sit.
It's that origin. And I believe I was safe down there. Just
Yeah,
kind of
I didn't
blocked
see the
off.
call out, so I'm thinking you were safe. You'll have a pretty good look at a birdie putt as long as you have a look through the branches.
Oh, and Hank didn't quite have the same luck.
Nope, just took that a little too wide. Zach kind of doing the same,
But with
but
a more stable disc,
yeah.
that looks nice.
Oh yeah, that'll work out just fine. Maverick going with the sidearm. And that really is a good play for this hole. It's just a pretty tough shot to actually pull off because it's so risky having it
That
turn
was
towards
nice,
that
though.
out of bounds.
Great shot. Parked it. Hank for his par
yeah,
save.
he's got a window here. Oh, that was a good bid at it. Good run. Oh, and just off the chains for your birdie.
A little bit left.
Maverick will clean up his birdie, so it looks like the two bogeys from 17 were our two birdies on 18.
That's perfectly balanced. Oh, no, wait, nope. Because we had the bogey from Hank here.
Yep, those creep up on that hole. Just like this next one. It seems like it should be a pretty straightforward, easy birdie. But then you look at how close that basket is to the out of bounds line, and that changes real quick. So 230 feet. You got OB on the sidewalk in the parking lot, and then the creek and beyond.
And the little pit, the little crater.
Yeah,
filled with water.
there is. The actual water in the bottom is what's out of bounds.
Now that was
so,
a decent drive for Meeker, but he's got a decision to make from that distance.
Yeah. And that is kind of the play. Throw it at that tree, crash through like Maverick did, and you have a good look at a birdie. You hit that tree, and like you said, you have a lot of choosing to do, because even laying up can be pretty risky on this hole. Oh, and just a little
just
early
a
on that one.
Big misfire there.
Yeah, that leaves a pretty dangerous approach shot, so...
It's a good shot. It's a great shot. Ooh.
Oh, and I think he stayed safe. That thick grass, like you were saying, is kind of a savior sometimes. Ooh, and you left that a little short. That leaves kind of a scary par putt.
Meeker laid that up, but he definitely wanted to get closer than that.
Yeah, like I said, even the layups can roll out of bounds real easy, so... Oh, yeah, I can understand why you're not happy with that one.
Great birdie from Maverick.
Yeah, that's definitely a stroke on a lot of the field. Yeah, I don't think there was very many birdies on the day. It did play slightly under par, but that's probably because of a lot of laid up threes.
Yes, sir.
Hank's definitely eyeballing
Yeah,
this one.
is
That was
great
a great birdie. That
I
branch
will,
was definitely more in play than he made it look.
And there's my double bogey to finish that off, so yeah.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me when I laid up and tried to play it safe and just got up and rolled away on me. That's such a tricky hole.
And here's for another relatively tricky hole. It's only 315 feet, but you have to get so high. right out of the gate to get over these bushes, it's hard to get that distance really dialed in.
It really is. You got to throw it up pretty high right away.
Thumber is actually a pretty good play.
Yeah. If you have enough shoulder to be able to pull that off, that's definitely a good choice. And
seems to have worked out.
looks like he'll be in pretty good shape there with it. This is more what I tend to look at, the turnover, kind of let it glide in shot. Yeah, about
Pretty
like
good
that.
shot.
Yeah. That was really well controlled. Turn that over a little too much and you're in that parking lot. Zach looks like he's going right up the middle.
Great shot.
Yeah. Again, everybody kind of playing it safe out there to the left, but you can't really blame them. That parking lot comes into play real fast.
And the wind just beat that town.
Yeah, it did. Didn't let it turn at all. Oh, and an unfortunate kick on that one.
I think I'm still letting that 5 from hole 1 kind of sit in the back of my head a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes it's difficult to let those go.
Maverick really launched that one. I think he's getting hungry. Hungry for the birdie.
Yeah,
I think gives that a good bid.
and you are blocked by that tree a bit, aren't you?
Directly.
Trying to hyzer around it a little. That's
I
tough.
almost thought about going through the V
Through
in
the
the tree,
V.
but it was too tight.
Yeah, that's a pretty narrow one.
Ooh, good putt.
That was a great save. He put himself further away on that approach shot than I thought he had. Let's see if Zach can clean up a 2 here. Oh, just a little bit low. That was a good save. That was a good putt. It's always nice when you can stop the bleeding.
Hank will tap a par. Meeker will tap into par as well, and we'll get on to these bonus holes.
Yep. Now we're to the temporary holes that we don't get to see very often. These ones are kind of fun. We actually have some nice mown grass, which is nice. And it looks like we got Hank still sitting leading the card. Not sure how the rest of the field is faring compared to him, but
I know there's some good action happening on Chase card right now. I was keeping an eye on the score while we were playing, and there's some players really pushing.
we got Maverick taking that pretty wide.
Really tempting that OB.
Oh, and just never
No.
quite got back in bounds enough.
He had the right distance though, and that's a lot of people have been coming up short, and he tempted that OB and paid the price.
Yeah, he's gonna be out pretty far back there too.
Ooh.
Hank kind of risked that out of bounds as well.
That meter in's gonna help him.
Yeah, that's actually a really good place to be too, because now he's not putting at that out of bounds. Zach came up a little short, but he might have a pretty decent look. He's far enough to the right. So is this the same disc you threw last
It's
time?
that same origin.
Definitely got a little more on it this time. You're going to have a comeback putt instead of being blocked by that tree.
Yeah, and I'm not happy about the wind that I'm facing on this putt either.
Yeah, that was actually a really good run by Maverick there. He almost knocked that one down.
And he's running at that 3 save from the OB again.
Right. Zach, just didn't get the turn he was looking for. You knew that right out of your hand.
Yeah,
It just
I
was
had
a
to
little
straddle out
left and
more than I
short.
was comfortable with.
Hank. Oh no. I was already almost counting that one.
I think he wanted to make sure it was high enough that the tailwind didn't push it down. Just gave it a bit too much.
Yeah. Everybody tapping out their threes, and Maverick tapping out his bogey after going out of bounds.
Tough break on that. That was a decent drive.
So we still have Hank
8, 9, 10, 11.
up by 8, 9, 10, 11. We got a straight.
Going into a pretty easy hole, nice and short, but this wind can really make these shorter holes a bit more difficult than they should be.
Yeah, it's definitely playing some tricks with the discs, so you gotta watch out for it. Gotta keep it in mind, but try not to let it affect you too much. Looks like Hank had no trouble with
was going
that.
a bit deep there. That tree
he got
really
lucky
helped
on that tree hit there. That was definitely a good tree.
And we're barely throwing putters, and this tailwind is just carrying them.
Yeah. Zach's trying to use that wind to push this one in.
Ooh. Again, good tree kick.
Yeah. Looks like that's the play. Just throw it at that tree and let it fall.
Yeah, I didn't get the memo.
And that one just stabled up on you. That tailwind kind of sucked the flight right out of that one. Maverick gonna try the same thing here.
That looks great. Oh, just on the back side of that tree.
Just caught that last branch a little bit. Oh, and right over the top. That was a good run from there.
Looks like he was actually far enough past those branches to not have to straddle around him.
Yeah, that's nice, because that would have been one heck of a straddle. That was a good cleanup from you. Nice par.
Hank looks not even having to straddle around that. He's got a nice open shot here. Oh no!
Just punches right through. It was a little bit right, but you would have thought those chains would have grabbed a little.
These baskets don't seem to like the low right putts.
Yeah. Zach will get his birdie. Hank cleaning up a par. That's really too bad, because that was a good putt.
Tie Meeker up with Hank there to lead this card.
Yeah. Maverick only one behind him.
And one hole left.
And one hole left. And a pretty open hole. Just throw a big hyzer, and it's not even that big of a hyzer, but you do want it kind of high. You want it to be kind of spiking in at the end.
You definitely don't want it to flare toward the road, or the sidewalk there.
Yeah, and you definitely don't want to have it flare into that long brush behind it, so.
That was a good shot.
Yep, that was a good kick, how it got that kick to the left for him there. That was pretty good. Maverick ripping out that hyzer. Oh, and it just stalled out at the end. It's another headwind hole, so kind of a little bit of play on the discs from those.
Good skip off the path.
Yeah. Looks like you're throwing a tactic.
Yes, sir.
Razor claw.
It's been working for me for this whole time, and just cut out. I think the wind pushed it a little bit too far to the right, and it didn't want to fade back.
Yeah, it didn't even want to skip to the left. It just stopped. Maverick, he'll have an easy 3 from there, so. Oh.
Yeah, total misfire.
Yeah.
Another one. Meeker's all, save this, Hank. You got this birdie. One of us has to. And he does.
And he does. Great birdie to finish it out. Zach will clean up his par and say how he feels about this hole. Oh, and that was just an unfortunate kick off of there.
It was not the best round for me this round, but
Yeah. Alright, so that'll put you at 1 over for the round. Hank came in with the hot round at 5 down for the card and leading the card. Zach right on his heels at 11 down, and Maverick right there with him.
But Tyler Trefethan from the chase card had a killer round, 7 under par, because he was one of the ones that was tied going into this.
Right.
And ended
I
up
think
coming away
Mac
with
Lugo was as
Mac was
well,
as well,
and just 1 stroke behind him. That
so
was
those
great
two had a
rounds from
stellar
them.
round, and Josiah.
Yeah. Had
So
a lot of
chase
movement
card had a
from the
lot
chase
of
card.
movement.
And you guys didn't fall any further than that off, but had Zach in 5th and Maverick in 6th and you in 7th. So, for the most part, not too bad of a showing out there.
Yeah, congratulations to Tyler. That was a great second round. Wish I could have seen it.
Yep, that's for sure. So, thanks everybody for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the footage.
Later.